So how did you end up getting to college then from high school after you were having a hard time? Did you go to community college, go straight through, or how was that journey for you?
So I was undocumented, right? So I couldn't. I'm back then when I was when I graduated from high school, the AB 540 didn't exist. So in order for me to go to college, I had to pay out of state tuition, like a community college. Instead of paying like 12 units per hour, it was like 144 units per hour. So I couldn't afford going to college. So what I did, I used to work as a security guard for a while. I also used to play the violin in a mariachi band, and then I ended up working as a server in a restaurant. It's kind of like Dennis. It's called like Norm's Restaurant. So I worked there for 5 years, and then after that, I kind of wanted to make a little bit more money, so I ended up working in Olive Gardens as server. So I kind of did that for 2 years. But during that time, I kind of met my wife, my high school sweetheart, and I think from the beginning on, when I met her, like she was, she is, and she was the most important person in my life. She was already going to college, Cal State Fullerton, and doing that, and she was supporting me trying to be able to apply to college. So the first thing I did was going to a community college for 2 3 years, and I was able to do that. I cannot tell you how I did it because I don't want to get in trouble. Because like a lot of times, like many of us migrants, when when we are undocumented, I mean, it's tough to work and going to school because we don't have anything. We don't have an ID. We don't have social security. We don't have anything. But once the AB 540 passed, is when I was able to transfer to from a community college and then going to a Cal State LA where I studied biology, and that was super tough because I was working like full time. I didn't have a license, so because I couldn't get a license because I was undocumented. So I was full time student, working full time. So I was like going to work, taking the bus 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, trying to do research to go to medical school. So it was like one of the toughest years in my life. And then like I decided to try to apply to medical school. I only applied to 4 or 5 medical schools in California. I didn't apply anywhere else outside California. I was a terrible applicant, I can tell you. I got very lucky and blessed for being able to.
Oh, wow. What made you want to be a cardiologist? Because you could have specialized in everything. I mean, you did training with adults in internal medicine, and you did training with pediatrics as well. What made you decide, like, I think I want to be a cardiologist and then a pediatric cardiologist? Like, how did that happen?
You know, part of the decisions that we take in life, I think it has to do with the people that we meet. I think when I was in medical school, I was like so lucky of having a really good mentor that I consider a friend, like Tony Monares. He's a med peds doctor. So when I met him, he's one of he's one of the doctors that I met for the first time that were med peds, like a wonderful human being, an amazing doctor. So he was kind of like the first person to inspire me to be like a med peds doctor. And he used to be in love. He is in love with the physiology of congenital heart disease. So one of the first lectures I got from him was like about how everything works with patients that are born with a hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which essentially means that you're born with half a heart. And when he started like introducing that topic and everything else, I just want to be like him. Like I wanted to do med peds, take care of pediatrics and adults, and then I also wanted to do like pediatric cardiology, and that's how everything started. So that's why I think like in life it's so important to have like a good friend and a good mentor because those are the people that can definitely help you accompany you in like the important process in your life.
Did you end up having your first child when you were in college, or was it after?
It was in medical school.
Oh, it was during medical school. Wow. So you were working many hours, going to college, just trying to get there, and then aside doing all that volunteer research and all that stuff. Like how you can be a parent and be a doctor, because you have 6 kids. How do you manage that?
Well, I want to tell you this. I still figuring it out. Being a parent as a doctor is extremely hard. And I'm not gonna deny it. I think it has to do a lot about your balance, because everyone tries to keep a balance between professional life and your family life. I came from a different country. I kind of left my family behind. So I always have this thing that no matter what, like my wife and my kids are gonna be the most important thing, because that's who defines who I am. And in order for me to be a doctor, I had to be a good dad. I had to be a good husband. I had to be a good human being, right?